The power of using authorization policies is best shown by an example. Normally when you want to set up and configure multi-factor authentication in Office 365, you have to use an administrator account. Let's see how we can delegate this to someone in our help desk. Here we can see we're logged into Nova as an IT help desk user. Right now, we haven't been given the rights to manage the multi-factor authentication settings for anyone in our tenant. As an administrator, you would see something like this. But as you see when I put them side by side, my help desk person doesn't have the ability to manage multi-factor authentication yet. Let's change this so our help desk person can do multi-factor authentication changes. Let's switch to a Nova administrator. We can create a new authorization policy to give our help desk user permission to work with multi-factor authentication. If we have an existing policy, of course we can add this capability to it. We create a new policy by clicking on the Add button. We begin by giving the policy a name. Below that, you can see all of the elements that make up our policy. We can decide who we're going to delegate this task to. Normally for testing, you'd pick a single user, and then once tested, change it to be a security group containing all of the appropriate users. Next, we pick which tenants or virtual OUs that we want to be able to perform this task on. We want people to be able to control multi-factor authentication, so we set that on the Actions tab. Finally, after adding the actions, we check the properties to be sure that the users will have the ability to read and write the correct properties. We'll show you in another video how to customize the list to make the delegate experience better. But this is all we need to do right now to configure the policy. Now let's switch back to our IT help desk user. Let's say we want to enable multi-factor authentication for a particular user. We select the option here and go to the details, and we see the information straight away about multi-factor authentication. We can enable it or disable it as required, and that's it. We can check up at the top of the screen for notifications around this action to make sure that the change we made works successfully. We've done all of this now using Nova, even though we're not an administrator of the Office 365 tenant. These events are audited, so look out for our training on how to use the audit logs in Nova. That's all for this example of using authorization policies in Nova.